Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. In partnership with E360 TV, we bring you A Woman's Prerogative Part 2 tonight. Well, it's tonight here in the UK, and for some it's morning, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to our new viewers that are from E360 TV, and welcome to our new viewers across the different platforms. Welcome also to our existing and our very loyal viewers on USA Global TV and Radio. My name is Caroline Heward and I'm your host for today's show, which is A Woman's Prerogative. And this is our part 2. Earlier on today, there was part 1, that's 5 o'clock UK time, which is midday Eastern time. Tonight we have a wonderful guest and panelist, part of our team. It's Mariska Dupree, and I'd like to bring her up. So Mariska Dupree from New Zealand, right across the other side of the world. Hello.
Hello, and yes, morning indeed for me.
Ah, you see, I'm midnight and you're morning. That's really global, isn't it, Mariska? Really, really global. For our viewers that are here for the first time, and also for our viewers here from other platforms here for the first time, and people here that have been here but would like a reminder, please tell our viewers who you are, what you do, how you help people, and also how they can contact you.
Oh, that is quite a mouthful there. So who I am, Mariska Dupree, as Caroline so graciously introduced. And what I do is I work with leaders going either into leadership or moving up in their leadership journey. And going through these transitions can be a little bit tricky, especially when we have been in that expert mode for quite a long time. So helping people around that. And the way that you can get in contact with me is via my email, which is mariska@journey2discover.com. Or alternatively, doing so on LinkedIn, where I also from time to time share a few other tidbits around leadership and how we can bring a little bit more humanness into our leadership and also looking after ourselves as leaders. And Caroline, I also know that you do a whole host of interesting work. So please do share a little bit about yourself too.
Well, thank you, Mariska. Always a pleasure. So my name is Caroline Heward, and tonight I'm your host for the show. And in the background, we have the amazing Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. She's in the background producing the show, doing all the necessary things to make this happen. So she's very much part of tonight's show, and she's always amazing to have as part of the background and making it all work. She does all the tech that I definitely can't do. So a little bit about me. I'm Caroline Heward, and I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert. What do? I help people bust their stress. And stress comes in all manner of guises. It can come physically, so physical ache and pain, emotional ache and pain, sadness, loneliness, heartache. It can come as grief or relationship issues, or it can actually come as a situation that you're not handling very well at work. So some people say they're not stressed. They say, well, I'm not stressed. I handle my stress really well, but actually I don't sleep very well and I'm physically aching and paining. That is how your stress is manifesting. And I help you literally bust your stress so you don't have those symptoms. And I work with root cause therapy. So I identify the root cause so it obliterates your repeating pattern. I offer a free consultation on Zoom, Skype, or messenger, audio, video, or call. And I offer a free 30-minute consultation. You can reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk or call me on +44 if you're international, 07523 120 189. So let's get into the topic. The topic is step-by-step soul stories. Now, I shared in the earlier show some very madcap things that I got up to in different types of shoes. And so I would love to hear what kinds of shoes that you like to wear when you were younger. And then we're going to go through the years. So what kind of things were you wearing when you, bearing in mind that there's many years apart between us. So I was wearing platforms when I was young and high-heeled shoes. So Mariska, what were you wearing when you were young? And have you got any funny stories to share with fashion and what you liked, what you chose? Any insights in terms of what made you choose those types of shoes when you were younger?
Let's see. Platforms? No, did not wear platforms when I was young. I did try them out a little bit later on in life, though. But initially, didn't do the whole platform thing. So because we grew up on farms, and I'm saying farms because there were two different ones in my mind, I think shoes for me was mainly to go to school with, which also only happened on occasion, especially during the winter, because then I wanted the socks more so than the shoes. And then most of my shoes were either a form of athletic shoes, so a tacky in some form, shape of it, or sneaker. Otherwise, flat shoes. So I really enjoyed, I'm not even sure what that would be called in America and or England or Europe, flip-flops. So
yeah,
the type of shoe where you, a flip-flop, good. Okay, so those worked really well. Could wear it with pretty much anything else that I was wearing, especially being in Africa. The climate lended itself to being a little bit warmer in general. So for the most part, shorts or a dress, not that I wore so many dresses, more shorts. Flip-flops worked really well with those, and I could literally just kick them out, don't have to worry about them. Of course, that isn't so good if you have a whole pack of dogs at home, because for some odd reason, they also enjoy chewing on flip-flops. So needless to say that I went through a couple of them during my younger years, because I didn't always remember where I put them when I kicked them out. So the dogs would find them at some stage, and then I would not have shoes anymore, other than my school shoes, of course, which always had to be in my cupboard to ensure that no dog chews the shoes.
I so sympathize with you because I had a dog when we were very young, and I don't remember having the dog chew shoes. We definitely had things to chew, but I managed to escape the chewing of shoes. But, you know, you raise an interest. I forgot about my flip-flop days, because that was a very thing. It was a really big thing in England to wear flip-flops. And I used to wear them because it was a fashion. And it was something that, you know, there wasn't much else at that time. And the flip-flops that I wore were the ones that were stringed. So they weren't the plastic ones that we get now. And I wore them when I was very young because that's what everybody wore. And I learnt not to wear things that were uncomfortable for my feet. And I always said that in between my big toe and where the string came in, it always was very sore and I didn't like it. And so I now won't wear those types of sandals. If there's anything that goes in between my big toe and the next toe, I won't wear them. I just say no. So I'm restricted to buy sandals because so many shoes, sandals have that, you know, that sort of piece in the middle. And because I had such a terrible experience when I was younger and I used to get sores and all sorts of things, and it was just really uncomfortable. But I'd like to share, I did wear a sandal like that with the thing. And I was on a ride, on a fairground ride. And I remember being on this, it was one of those big kind of wheel type things that you know, you sort of go climb up and up and up. And I was screaming and, you know, sort of being really exhilarated. And it was slowly climbing up. And my friend said, this is not a terrible ride. It's actually a really good one. But it was a very hot day. It was in America. And I was wearing these sandals, these little, you know, sort of flip-flop type things. And so they were quite loose. And then it went whooshing down. And I lost a sandal. So it just went. And I was really quite frightened because I thought, well, I was in this fairground place. It was really huge in the middle of America. I think it was in Florida that we went to somewhere that was, it was a big theme park. And I really got quite worried because I wasn't sure whether I was going to get my sandal back because I wasn't quite sure where it had gone. Luckily, it had actually gone right below me. And the person that was manning the ride said, here's your sandal. And so I was very lucky. I've had 2 instances where that's happened. I've lost a sandal or a shoe and I've managed to get it back. But I've just, because you mentioned flip-flops, that was the time that I was wearing them. And it was quite scary not to have the flip-flop, you know, to think that what's going to happen to it. So I've got a little bit of a case history of losing shoes and sandals. So would I say that I haven't done a fairground ride since then because I'm afraid of losing something. I know.
Your story of the fairground reminded me of the times that we went to the beach, and mentioning that little string between your toes that actually made it quite painful. So initially, from age around about 3 to, I think, 10, I didn't wear flip-flops. And the reason I didn't wear flip-flops is we went to the beach. And of course, well, the sand will have a tendency to burn your feet. So you had to have shoes on. And my parents thought that it was the best idea to just give me flip-flops because it is a loose shoe in any case and I can easily get rid of them. Well, needless to say, I didn't like the thing between my toes because it hurt. If there's sand getting in between that and your foot, it's even worse. And who has ever gracefully walked on sand with a pair of flip-flops? I personally don't know of anyone. So I decided in my 3-year-old wisdom that I will take my flip-flops off. I gave them to my mom and said, well, if you want to be wearing these, you are more than welcome to do so. And I ran off and walked where the waves hit the sand, so the sand wasn't so hot. And that's how I solved that problem. And of course, until about 10, I didn't wear flip-flops because it was just a lot easier. After that, of course, I found the joys of flip-flops again. Still do not wear them on the sand, though. So, yes, I absolutely understand your point of sore feet and flip-flops. And I can see how that can be problematic at a theme park too.
Well, thank you. I feel such a silly girl most of the time when these kind of things happen. But, I so empathize with you because I thought I was the only one that didn't like this thing in between my toes, because it's so common that people are very happy to wear them. And when I see them, some beautiful sandals that sort of have that thing that goes in between the big toe and the second toe. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but I look at them and think, oh, I wish I could wear them, but I just won't. Now, there's been a message from Dr. Jacalyn, and she wants to show us some shoes that she has worn, and she fell out of them and she's not worn them again. And she wants to show a picture of these shoes. Oh my gosh.
They are beautiful.
You see, those shoes, I just think that they belong in a wardrobe. I would never go and wear anything like that. But that's amazing how you walked on those, Dr. Jacalyn. I don't know. But these shoes broke and she's not worn them again. What I wanted to do was go back to the sand, because this is something else that's really interesting. Sand. Because I've gone to beaches and I've had the sandals on because, you don't want to walk in somebody's, some of the beaches I've walked on have not been particularly nice. And I've noticed cigarette butts there and it makes me feel not very comfortable. So I've worn my sandals to walk on the beach. And then I've got all sandy and then it's all kind of itchy and very horrible. And so then I thought, oh, stuff it. And I've taken the sandals off and gone bare feet. And I'm very surreptitiously walking bare feet on the sand. Even though it's going everywhere, I'm actually feeling more comfortable. And that brings me into saying that my favorite these days is to walk around barefoot. So even though we're talking about shoes and fashions and our memories, one of the things that is really freeing for me is to walk around my home bare feet. And so anyone that comes, even in my London property and this one, I've got this one nicely fully carpeted now, even the engineers that come, they see what's in the front of them and they take their shoes off. And so they walk either in their socks or they walk with these little plastic bag things over their shoes. And I think that's the height of respect, because I'm walking around bare feet with nothing on my feet because I keep the floor very clean. And I feel very free in being like that rather than closing my feet off. And as a consequence of that, and I do say as a consequence, I actually have to really take care of my feet because they are generally in sandals or nothing at all. And so they get very hard skin. So I have to really manage and look after my feet, which I do. But it's like a bigger job because they're not always covered. So what about you, Mariska? How do you find sandals versus shoes?
It's very interesting that you mention walking barefoot. So in South Africa, I used to wear my shoes inside the house, outside the house, wherever it is that I went. And then when we moved to New Zealand, there's a very interesting phenomena. And around here, most people, I would say about 95, if not 100% of people, typically do not wear shoes indoors. So as soon as you go into somebody's house, you take your shoes off and you will walk on either your socks or barefoot. So I have adapted to this also in my house, finding, like you, Caroline, that it just keeps the floor so much cleaner as well. So it reduces the amount of dirt that you trick in from outside because you use your shoes for outdoor walking and then barefoot for indoor walking, which works really well. And that has also, now that I have a tendency to be, well, at home most of the time because that's where I work from, I do not wear my shoes as often anymore. And I actually went out the other day to meet somebody in town, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. And this really felt like a treat. And I took one of my pairs of shoes that I really, really love. So it's a pair of shoes that's blue with butterflies on them. No, all my shoes aren't as eccentric. But I do really love this pair. So I decided, well, I'm going to take these ones out for a little bit of a stroll in town. And that's what I did. And it really felt so good to be able to just take my shoes out for a walk. Literally, I took my shoes for a walk, not them taking me for a walk. So that was quite an interesting experience, and thinking of how much I used to wear shoes and how little I do now. So
I so agree with you. Butterflies on your shoes. Woohoo. I thought I was bad with my glittery bits and my crystal bits and my shiny bits on shoes. But you wearing butterflies, that's that's another stretch further. I like those things that have like sort of I call them statement pieces,
Yeah.
you know, where they're different and people make a comment about you know, sort of how pretty they are. So that's lovely, really, really, as you say, eccentric, and it makes people talk about it. You know, it raises. I like to wear red shoes, little red shoes, and if I'm wearing all black and then red shoes, always men comment about my red shoes. They just say, I love your red shoes. And that's, again, another statement. And they really do look good because I always buy something that looks professional, smart, and yet attractive and feminine. And rather than being, you know, I'm in kitten heels, but I've got different types of red shoes. And I'm now becoming known as the lady with red shoes, you know, different types of red. And when I go to black shoes, I notice how less of a stark impression it is instead of wearing the red shoes. So that is something that that for me is one of the statements that I use, because I always get complimented on the shoes by both men and women. So what colour shoes do you like, Mariska?
Well, I have never thought about the red shoe thing, and I admire you for being able to pull that off. For me, red is a very, very strong color, and I personally have one red coat in my closet, no red shoes, and one red shirt. That's about the extent of red that I have in my closet, because I don't know. Red scares me just a little bit. I don't know why. So absolutely, hat off to you being able to pull off the red shoes. I love it. And I'm also wondering, what's the rest of the outfit look like? Because, well, if the shoe's going to be the hero, right?
Oh, that'd be telling.
Out.
Well, I'm very much a woman in black normally, even though many people say to me, you know, why don't you have a shake around with different colours? And when I feel a little bit brave, and so I'm in blue tonight, when I feel a bit brave, then I will wear different colours. And whenever I wear red or an electric blue, like I'm wearing tonight, I always get huge compliments about, because I'm usually wearing black. And so having that contrast of black dress or black outfit with red shoes is quite a statement. But Dr. Jacalyn, she's actually made some comments in the back there as she's producing, saying that she loved wearing her high shoes that were always incredibly high, as we saw in the picture. But actually, she much prefers now to be in sneakers. That's the American way to say it. The English way, the England way is to say trainers. But the Americans say sneakers and socks. And I have to say, when it's been cold, I've got some socks to put on my feet that are actually called toasties, because in England, we've now gone into what I can only say is pretty chilly weather. We've actually hit winter, I feel. I think we missed autumn. We've gone straight into winter. I've put my radiators on and they're bursting with heat now. But I would, when my feet are cold, because hands and feet are always the first to go cold, I've actually got a pair of what they're sort of big claret, the claret red socks, and they're called toasties. And I walk around in my toasties when my feet are feeling cold. So it's not only about, you know, shoes, it's also about socks as well. And I really thank Dr. Jacalyn for reminding me, saying that she walks around in socks or sneakers. I do walk around in socks when my feet get chilly. And when it's really cold, I have very woolly, you know, those very soft, fluffy slippers. I actually walk around in a pair of those when it's really chilly here. But this is, you know, sort of when you're in the home, then, you know, those kind of things are really easy. But I forgot about those things until Dr. Jacalyn reminded me about her socks. So how about you? Do you wear socks at home?
Yes, when it's chilly, I do. And I also, I have a bit of a story around the slippers thing.
Oh, please share.
With slippers, I have a tendency to also have my favorite pair of slippers. And they are nice and woolly on the inside. And they're roomy enough so I can put a thick pair of socks on first and then put my foot into my slippers. So normally, if I don't wear socks, the slippers are quite loose. And this one day, I also, again, had to go out into town. And I thought, well, I'll get ready a little bit beforehand. And I put a pair of socks and my slippers back on because, well, there was a bit of time left and thought I'd do a few things around the house while I wait for the time to pass before I need to leave. So, of course, started doing things. And I don't know about you guys, but typically when I start to get busy with stuff, I forget about time in general. And then before you know it, the time has arrived where I need to leave the house. So I thought, well, yep, got everything. I'm all done. Did the face and the hair and the dress. So everything's sorted out. Grabbed the keys, grabbed the handbag, and out of the house I went. So I got to the robot around, I think, maybe 2 kilometers from the house. And I thought, oh, yeah, okay, I'm in time. This is going to be perfect. I don't have to worry about anything. And at some stage, and I don't know why, to this day, I have no idea why, I looked down at my feet. And lo and behold, I still had my slippers on. So I thought, well, I'm not too sure whether barefoot would go with this outfit. It was a bit more of a classy outfit. So I had to turn around. Luckily, I wasn't that far away from home yet. Turned around, went back in, rushed up the stairs, took off the slippers and the nice woolly socks, and then slipped into my Cinderella shoes, a little bit more of a heel, and went back down. So yes, it is very comfortable to be able to walk around in our slippers. Also, do remember to check them before you go out of the house, because comfort 1, class 0, unfortunately, for most slippers, not all, but most.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Mariska. You know, what's really funny, in the UK in particular, there's been some kind of a fashion, and I think it's come from the reality TV shows where people are going to the stores to shop in their slippers and pajamas. And I don't know where it's come from, because I don't watch huge amounts of television at all. So it's come from some reality show, or I don't know, Kardashians, I'm not quite sure, but it's come from something, because there has been an avalanche of people just like sort of walking down the street doing their shopping in their pajamas and their slippers. I mean, you know, I would never dream of doing that. You know, it's kind of, but so the fact that you went out in your slippers would not be uncommon if you did it here. Well, we do have a little, we do have a little surprise. Dr. Jacalyn has been very busy in the background while she's producing, and she has found a picture of her sneakers. Now, these sneakers are different because they have glitter over them. So,
Let's look at them.
this is like sort of, this is a bit like my different shoes and your butterfly, and this is sneakers with diamanty bits on and glitter, and wow. So unbelievable. What I also would like to look at and is going on the theme of bare feet, and I would love to share this freedom that it gives me in particular of being in barefoot, especially when we're usually outside, we're in shoes. And being in shoes, it's usually very draining for me now because there's been so much being at home that I'm not in those kitten heels or any heels, and I'm bare feet or like sort of my slippers or little flat sandals. So when I go out, it becomes quite draining to be walking around even in kitten heels because I've just not been used to it. But one of the things I have been doing is ecstatic dancing. And I absolutely, I know, I'm going to share what this is. It's dancing through the different chakras. So through the glands. So each chakra is related to the 7 major glands. So dancing through the root chakra, the second chakra, where it's all watery and flowy, and dancing in the ethereal, which is all kind of like this. And it's all, and we do that bare feet. And because sometimes the floors are quite dirty, I've actually been dancing in socks. And I really love that because I can just kind of like glide across and it's like sort of the movement is so free flowing. I can kind of, twist, and then my foot's kind of going in all sorts of crazy directions because the socks there looking after my feet so they don't get really dirty. And that's something that's even better when I'm ecstatic dancing because I can move even more than I used to be able to move totally barefoot. And I feel really ecstatic afterwards. And one of my friends who I used to dance with, she was at an ecstatic dance on the weekend, the one that I used to go to in London. And she said the main guy that looks after it, he's one of the major players in ecstatic dancing UK. And he asked after me, and I'm thinking, whoa, it's nice to be missed. There I am strutting my stuff, in my socks and sort of in my small top and leggings, and I missed. And I think that that's probably because I really did do my dancing. And the thing is, with that, it's, sort of in the ecstatic dancing, there's no talking, there's no mobiles, there's no social media. So nobody's taking pictures or looking or judging. And it's just moving, it's movement in every part of you. And what's really beautiful is when I dance on those wooden floors, those slippy floors in socks, my feet don't get dirty. So I'm taking care of my feet. And more importantly, I can move a little bit more sultry. I know, I'm just terrible. And you get really hot, and then you can go really cool when it's like the ethereal and etheric movements. But I was saying to my friend, I was thinking about this particular lady, and I was thinking about the dancers, and then she comes in and she says to me, "I've missed you. How have you been? How's your new home? And when are we going dancing again?" Because I love to dance with socks or bare feet, depending on how clean the floor is. So the soles of my feet are really precious to me. My feet are something that I really take care of. I never squeeze into shoes. I never try and fit. I wouldn't never wear them in. Do you ever wear shoes in?
I have. Okay, so I have a tendency to go for leather shoes. Typically, I love leather shoes, not only because of the fact that they last a really long time, they're typically also well made. And some leather shoes needs a little bit of wearing in. Now, in saying this, I thought the same might be true for steel-tipped shoes. And I used to wear steel-tipped shoes at work in a power plant. And I thought this one pair, it will wear in over time. Now, steel-tipped shoes, number one, they're quite heavy to start off with in any case, which never bothered me too much. And if they are uncomfortable, you really do want to get a different pair. That I only found out after about a month of wearing this one, because I thought, well, it will get better. It never did. So I ended up having blisters in places where I didn't want them, with shoes that I really didn't like. So I ended up changing them for a different pair. And that went a lot better. So ever since then, I think I maybe have had one pair that I said, okay, I will wear in and just walk with you a little bit more often so that I can get you to fit in all the right places the right way. And the leather wasn't too tough to wear in, so that wasn't too bad. But as a general rule, after that experience, to answer your question, Caroline, the answer is no. They do not anymore. If they do not fit, they do not fit, and I do not like them. I like shoes that fit.
I'm just the same as you, woman after my own heart. I will not squeeze or try and work them in. If they don't feel comfortable, I just don't buy them. And I've spent a fortune on shoes that felt comfortable when I bought them, and then I wore them, and then they were very uncomfortable, and they're in the bin. Well, Mariska, it's coming to the end of our show. Can you believe it? Doesn't time fly?
Yeah.
So, Mariska, we are in our last 5 minutes of the show before we hand over to our wonderful sponsors who make the show happen. So, Mariska, please, for our viewers, a reminder what you do and how you can help people, who you're looking for, a little bit about how you can help them, and more importantly, how to reach you so that they can reach out to you.
So, who I help, if you are a leader or you are thinking of going into leadership, that would be you. And I help you by not only noticing the more human elements within your new role, which is really, really important, also understanding how to bring out a bit more of you within that role and leaving some of that well-earned expertise that you have gained over so many years to the side in order to make your team shine. So that is what I do and whom I do it with. And if you would like to get in contact with me, you can do so via my email address, which is mariska@journey2discover.com. Or alternatively, you can find me on LinkedIn and send me a message there, and I will definitely connect and we can start our conversation. You also have the opportunity to see me in our Talking Heads show. So if you have missed any episodes, you are more than welcome to go and look for them on our USA Global TV and radio platform. Or alternatively, you can wait for the new one that is coming out this week on a Thursday in the US and UK, a Friday for me here in New Zealand and Dr. Jacalyn, I think, I'm hoping that is correct, it is 6 p.m. in Eastern Time. It is 11 a.m. for me in my time. So that is another place for you to find me. And Caroline, how about you?
Thank you, Mariska. I love this number 2 bit that you do. We're in our final couple of minutes of the show. So I help you bust your stress. I'm known as Caroline Heward, the Harley Street stress expert. And I also have a couple of shows. I do the Listening Mentor twice a month, and the next one is at the end of this month. And I also have my own Talking Head show on a Tuesday evening, 5 p.m. UK time, and that will be midday Eastern time. So I help people break through and bust their stress, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, behavioral. If you're complaining about that relationship, if somebody's bothering you, if you are having challenges at work, if you're not sleeping, if you're having eating problems, if you are struggling with any physical, emotional, mental ache and pain, reach out to me on No More Stress at live.co.uk. Or call me on +44 if you're international, 0 if you're local, 7523 120 189. And I offer a free 30-minute Zoom, Skype, Messenger, audio, video, or phone consultation. And I look forward to busting your stress. And it's now over to our sponsors. Mariska, thank you. It's always an amazing show with you. I've so thoroughly enjoyed this. It's been fun, hasn't it?
It definitely has been fun, Caroline, and I look forward to doing this again next week.
We will see you all next week. I will see you at 5 p.m. British Summer Time on Monday, and also at midnight British Summer Time, which is Eastern Time. I think it's 7 o'clock. Well, good night, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you very much for listening. We look forward to seeing you again. And very, very special goodbye to our E360 new viewers and all of our viewers across the globe. Good night. Goodbye.
This program has been brought to you in part by Zane Carson Carruth, etiquette and protocol expert, international award-winning author, television show host, and philanthropist. Thank you to Zane, our official diamond sponsor for USA Global TV and Radio in partnership with E360 TV. Zane is the author of The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever, as well as many other children's books. She's also the television host of Elegance, Polished Demeanor, and Posh Living, seen on USA Global TV and Radio.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Carruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
This program is brought to you in part by the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. Building confidence, changing lives. Do you share our view that etiquette is a set of modern life skills that are essential for personal and professional success? Join us as an etiquette coach and change people's lives through the power of etiquette and manners.
The last few days have been really amazing. I had a trainer course from the British School of Etiquette.
And I must say it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made and one of the best investments I've made in my own training and development.
Now, words alone will not describe the transformation and the positive path that I have traveled with the British School of Etiquette.
I found I learned a lot from the lessons this time I came.
The last few days with the British School of Etiquette have been fantastic.
And what I've learned now is really beyond my expectations.
This is the most rewarding experience and the best investment I have made this year.
It was just great. I learned so much, and when I go back to Belgium I will incorporate a lot of it into my day-to-day life and business.
It's been absolutely wonderful for the whole week that we were here.
I feel transformed, and I feel like blowing a trumpet and tell people, come and do this school, this class is the best, this is the best school ever.
You should take it. It will change your life immediately.
I am now able to teach other people how to bring the best of them.
Thank you. Thank you, PSC.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our clients for their testimonials on the Train the Trainer program. Our exponential and global growth is so significant that we've evolved from the British School of Etiquette to the British School of Excellence, where we're investors in people. Let us invest in you and your career. Contact us to become an etiquette coach. Go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. Start your career and elevate your success today.
Meet Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer of USA Global TV and Radio. She is a certified life, career, and executive coach. Dr. Jacalyn is the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Behind the Green Screen and Adversity to Awesome. As the listening mentor, she teaches children and their families how to listen at an elevated level through the book series titled The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. The Creative Hearts Awakening book series features heart-centric creatives who share their awakening journey. Through the Power of Listening educational course platform, people can get certified as elevated listeners on USA Global TV and Radio. Learn how to center yourself and align with nature through the power of nature, plants, and shrines. The Journey of Chakra Psychology course will educate you on the chakras and their meaning. The Intuition of the Heart course will help you understand how to trust your intuition. Learn how to face the shadows of self and understand the impact of following trends and materialism. Set boundaries and ask for permission to help establish better relationships, deeper connections, and more authentic conversations. Take your communication expertise to a higher level with the course for curious humans. After all, we are not robots. Looking to start your own podcast platform? Get everything you need in the Podcaster Pro package with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. How can music, breath, and your voice set you free? Find out with the Power of Listening courses. Dr. Jacalyn is a certified meditation teacher, yoga instructor, and Juice Plus distributor. She will help you create a plan for your healthy lifestyle. As an expert in the art of interviewing with over 3,000 hosted and/or produced live broadcasts, Dr. Kerbeck helps her clients stand out as global broadcasters. Dr. Kerbeck's books are available on Amazon. Start your listening journey by reading. Tune into the Listening Mentor TV show, Fridays on USA Global TV, and learn how listening can be your superpower. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, MBA, DBA, certified holistic life, career, and executive coach, certified yoga sculpt teacher, certified meditation teacher, the listening mentor, singer-songwriter, founder, president, chief listening officer of USA Global TV and Radio. drjacalyn.com. Thank you to all our elevated listeners, team members, animal characters, and co-authors. Contact us at 215-852-9406. Jacalyn at drjacalyn.com.
Hello, everyone. Hello and welcome. My name is Roland Friedl, and maybe as you can recognize from my accent, I'm Austrian, so it's a small country in the middle of Europe, in the heart of Europe. And yeah, I'm 59 years old. I'm a father and a grandfather. And from my business background, after my very short but very successful corporate career, I was the youngest member of board of directors in a huge business, in a huge company. I started my own businesses in different areas, in different industries, and I got a lot of experience, what is working, what is not working. And about 2.5 decades ago, I started a training, coaching, consulting company, Spartan Performance Systems, where I did and still do train and consult international huge businesses worldwide like Xerox and other big players in the world. So we do a lot of sales trainings and management trainings with my team in different languages. That's my main background in business. Besides that, I'm very engaged in men's work and also in the environment. That's my background, to make it short. So to be honest, I'm very curious about what's going on in the world. I love to learn. I love to travel. So my huge passion is traveling. Right now, as you can see the background, I'm sitting in my motorhome. So after 14 years living on a beautiful island, I decided to move into my motorhome and travel Europe and live and work from my motorhome. So, and I got engaged to USA Global TV and Radio actually a year and around 9-10 months ago. A very good friend of mine, he contacted me and asked me if he can invite me for an interview on USA Global TV and Radio. I guess the show was called The Journey of My Life. And to be honest, in the beginning, I said no, because I had very bad experience on interviews in my business careers. I did it twice for a TV channel in Austria. And then they cut it and edited it, and at the end, my comment was totally different than to the reality I said. So I said in the beginning, no, but I trusted this guy, so they said, okay, let's do it. He told me I don't have to fly to the US, I can do it from my home. That was, at the time, this was his island in Mallorca. So, and it was an amazing, and a beautiful conversation. And then Dr. Jacalyn contacted me and asked me if I'm interested in becoming a co-moderator of a show. And so we started the Mallorca Connection, which is a weekly show on Monday, the Mallorca Connection. I got more and more involved. I became an elevated listener because I strongly believe it's important to listen first before you talk. And I had the chance to host and moderate and design my own shows like the Earth Show in the past, the Men shows. I became a talking head, an expert on business topics. So I hosted, moderated, I guess about more than 100, maybe 200, I have no idea, shows on USA Global TV and Radio, and I still do. And finally, we started the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, a very good show, and we bring a new one on about the planet Earth. Yeah, that's a little bit what I'm doing here on USA Global TV and Radio. So why I'm doing this? First of all, I really love new medias. I love the platform. I love the work that this Dr. Jacalyn is doing to educate people. It's all about sharing, caring, and connecting and networking. And the benefit I got out of this in my personal experience, I learned a lot about myself, to be honest. I learned a lot about my strengths in moderating, in hosting, in talking live in front of a video camera. I learned a lot of myself, where my strengths, where my weak points that I have to improve. I met a lot of new interesting people. Some of them became friends of mine. Actually, after all, it's a hell of work, to be sure. Yes, it is, to be prepared to invite people for the shows, to find new topics, to do research on the facts. But I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the industry, the media industry. I learned a lot about broadcasting, videos, interviewing, And as I said, I met interesting people, a lot of interesting people, and also made new friends where I'm very happy for that. So yeah, USA Global TV and Radio, it's the platform to connect. It's about sharing and caring. And for me, USA Global TV and Radio is a huge family, and I'm very thankful and grateful for this experience. And yeah, and I guess the best is yet to come. Thanks a lot from Roland from Austria. Thank you. Bye.